6 generations on, and the Mercedes-Benz E-Class estate continues to set the standard for combining capaciousness, comfort and space in the premium wagon segment. Based on the excellent E-Class saloon launched in early 2016, the transformation into estate guise is a graceful one, the softly tapering tail impinging negligibly on the cargo space within its shapely rear. While it's not quite the largest estate car currently on sale, the Peugeot 308 SW and Skoda Superb estate both trump it. The Mercedes nevertheless offers significantly more carrying capacity than its direct rivals in the form of the Audi A6 Avant, the BMW 5 Series Touring, Jaguar XF Sportbrake and the Volvo V90. Mercedes' joker is that from the end of 2016 it reintroduced its age-old option of 2 rear-facing child seats in the boot, turning the E-Class estate into an occasional 7-seater. For many this could be the perfect antithesis to gargantuan SUVs. Spacious and laden with technology in normal 5-seater mode, the E-Class estate offers 640 litres of plushly trimmed boot capacity, but this can be increased to the tune of 30 litres simply by making the 40 hours 20 minutes 40 seconds split rear seat backrest 10 degrees more vertical. Folding the seats completely over into their virtually flat position is done simply with controls in the boot, liberating up to 1,820 litres of volume in the process. While it's clear Mercedes hasn't lost any of its cargo carrying expertise, the latest E-Class also showcases much of the technological advancements the firm has also established its reputation upon. They start before you even get in the car. Securely link an appropriate smartphone and you can park the E-Class remotely and lock and unlock it simply by holding your device next to the door handle. Place the phone on the wireless charging point in the center console and that's enough to allow the Mercedes to start. There's a raft of features under the Driving Assistance Plus package, including Drive Pilot, which is almost capable of driving the car for you, but remember legally you are still responsible for what the car does. Turn the system on and it will automatically raise or lower its speed based on how quickly other vehicles are driving and what the legal limits are. Additionally, it will steer itself between the white lines. Overtaking maneuvers on dual carriageways and motorways are simply actioned by holding the indicator for 2 seconds. The steering takes care of itself. Engine range expanding after launch. The vast majority of Mercedes E-Class estates sold in Britain over recent years have been diesel-powered, hence why for this generation the initial lineup only included one petrol derivative. That was the Mercedes-AMG E43 estate, capable of reaching 62 miles per hour from a standstill in just 4.7 seconds. Making it the quickest of the estate range until the bruising E63 and E63S appeared during 2017, the latter with its 0 to 62 miles per hour dash in 3.5 seconds thanks to a monster 612 horsepower V8 motor. Most customers will opt for the E220D, featuring a new 2.0-litre diesel serving up 194 horsepower yet claiming to return 67.3 miles per gallon and emit just 109 grams/km of CO2. It might be the entry-level power plant, but in reality it offers such a sensible blend of performance and economy it essentially becomes the default E-Class estate choice. Filling the gap is the E350D, fitted with a 3.0-litre V6 and power uprated to 258 horsepower. It's quicker than the E220D. 0 to 62 miles per hour drops from 7.7 seconds to 6.2, but in most instances you're unlikely to benefit from the extra urgency. The increased running costs won't escape your attention though. For those looking to run an E-Class estate on a more modest budget, an E200D with 150 horsepower and CO2 emissions of just 109 grams/km went on sale in late 2016. During 2017 Mercedes added the option of 4MATIC all-wheel drive to the E220D and E350D models. It's the first time a diesel E-Class has been given this option. Luxurious and well-appointed, it's not just the engine range which is restricted. The number of different E-Class estate variants is also much narrower than Mercedes has offered in recent years. The E200D, E220D and E350D are available in SE and AMG line derivatives, while the Mercedes-AMG E43 and E63 are standalone models atop the range. Whichever you choose, all have the sportier grille design, with the UK not offered the traditional design with the 3-pointed star mascot stood proud of the bonnet. All versions are highly spec'd with LED lights front and rear, an electrically operated tailgate, keyless starting, leather upholstery and 64 different colors for the interior lighting. It's also worth considering the extra cost option of the fully electronic instrumentation display. A Mercedes-AMG E63S Edition 1 derivative was unveiled to launch the top-spec performance model in April 2017, featuring bespoke paintwork and alloys along with sports seats and carbon fiber trim for the interior. The verdict: the Mercedes-Benz E-Class estate is an admirable effort in a very accomplished sector. It offers more choice than most rivals thanks to the inclusion of the hot AMG models alongside more affordable diesels. There's no hybrid version just yet, but it's fairly clear an E350e plug-in should follow soon to align with the saloon lineup. Read the full Mercedes-Benz E-Class estate review to find out how good this latest take on the premium estate really is. 3 economical diesel choices: AMG E43 and E63. For performance fans, E220D the pick of the range. The Mercedes-Benz E-Class estate was launched with a narrow range of engine options, but this was subsequently expanded to a far richer selection, including some startling performance models under the Mercedes-AMG banner, namely the E63 and E63S. Whichever model you choose, an excellent 9-speed automatic gearbox is your only transmission choice. Diesels dominate for a large estate that's likely to be used to haul heavy loads, tow caravans, or simply ply motorways efficiently. The low-down torquey nature of a diesel makes the most sense here. Premium car customers frequently tend to avoid the low-powered engines for fear of looking like they're scrimping, but in reality the E220D is all the E-Class you're ever likely to need. It's powered by a new 4-cylinder 2.0-liter diesel and replaces the aged 2.1-liter found across almost the entire Mercedes range. Not only is it more powerful, quicker and more efficient, pleasingly it is significantly quieter too. Power of 194 horsepower helps deliver a surprising 146 miles per hour top speed, while 400 Nm of torque available from just 1,600 revolutions per minute ensures the 0 to 62 miles per hour sprint is completed in 7.7 seconds. A decade ago many a hot hatchback would have struggled to match those figures. It's remarkably efficient too, with a claim of 67.3 miles per gallon and CO2 emissions as low as 109 grams/km. Despite being less powerful, with a total output of 150 horsepower, the E200D that went on sale during the autumn of 2016 is slightly less efficient than the E220D at 65.7 miles per gallon, while overall performance also suffers. With a 0 to 62 miles per hour time of 8.7 seconds, the E200D is the slowest of the range. If you fear how your neighbors will judge you, you can always have the badging deleted from the tailgate. Or opt for the significantly pricier E350D. It's a brawnier 3.0-liter V6 unit, with power up to 258 horsepower, while torque jumps to 620 Nm, also from 1,600 revolutions per minute. Top speed is electronically governed to 155 miles per hour, while the 0-62 is reduced to 6.2 seconds. It's much quicker on paper, yet on the road the extra urgency rarely makes its presence felt. Needless to say, it's less efficient. Official figures of 51.4 miles per gallon and CO2 emissions of 151 grams/km tell their own story. Broadier Mercedes-AMG E43 under the bonnet is a twin-turbocharged 3.0-liter V6 petrol engine producing 401 horsepower and 520 Nm of torque from 2,500 revolutions per minute, sufficient for an electronically limited 155 miles per hour top speed and a brisk 4.7 second 0 to 62 miles per hour time. It sounds purposeful enough, yet it doesn't make the hairs on the back of your neck stand on end in the way the V8 powerplant does. As with the diesels, the 9-speed automatic is the only transmission option. Needless to say, for a more performance-focused model, efficiency suffers. Mercedes-AMG claims 32.5 miles per gallon average, while CO2 emissions jump to 197 grams/km. Hardcore Mercedes-AMG E63 and E63S. In May 2017, order books opened for the stupendously rapid E63 and E63S versions of the E-Class estate. They both make use of a 4.0-liter V8 twin-turbo petrol engine. The standard version has 571 horsepower and 750 Nm of torque for 0 to 62 miles per hour in 3.6 seconds. while the S gets 612 horsepower and 850 Nm for a 3.5-second dart to 62 mph. Top speed on both is limited to 155 mph unless you specify the AMG driver's package. Comfort remains the primary focus. Air body control suspension, a sensible option, controlled rear drive characteristics, as has long been the case with core Mercedes-Benz E-Class estates. Comfort rather than handling prowess is the primary focus here. That's not to say the Mercedes is in any way incompetent, merely that the BMW 5 Series Touring remains superior if you're looking for an estate that handles with a greater degree of engagement. Because the Mercedes costs you from much of the outside world to focus on luxury, there's less feel through the steering wheel, although it weights up progressively at speed, assuming you're not letting the self-driving function do its thing. E200D and E220D versions ride on conventional steel springs, but the optional air body control, standard on other E-Class estates, is worth considering. Its ability to soak up all manner of ruts and undulations is mightily impressive. That said, you may prefer sport over comfort mode to introduce a little firmness to reduce the floaty aspect of the ride. It also helps reduce body roll through bends. Sport Plus mode ups the notch a stage further, tightening up all of the E-Class estate's responses, yet the ride quality never becomes jarring. This one feels more in tune with the E43 as you hustle it along B roads. From launch only, the Mercedes-AMG E43 came with 4MATIC all-wheel drive, although in 2017 it was also rolled out to E220D and E350D diesel models too, a first for the E-Class. The 4MATIC system retains a rear-wheel drive bias in normal circumstances and doubtless offers a greater degree of security in slippery conditions, but the wealth of electronics on board prevent the standard E-Class getting too wayward anyway. S-Class mimicking interior superb feels like a luxury car. Electronic instruments add further wow factor. Perhaps the most striking aspect of the Mercedes-Benz E-Class estate's interior is how much it looks like the uber-expensive S-Class limousine's cabin, especially if you upgrade the E220D's standard analog instrumentation pod to a pair of 12.3-inch customizable displays. They're supremely clear and manage to look impressive without needlessly showy. You can also specify a superb head-up display system projecting key information directly only to the windscreen. At first glance, the trio of ones on the left of the steering column seem a bit complex, but you soon adapt to them, as you do the automatic gear lever mounted on the opposite side. All-round visibility is excellent, aided by large door mirrors and the optional 360-degree camera system for precision maneuvers in tighter spaces. Regardless of height, drivers shouldn't struggle to achieve a perfect seating position either, with a fine range of adjustment of both the seat and steering column. Spacious, comfortable cabin air suspension, a worthwhile feature. Quiet interior, especially with double glazing. Few cars are bestowed with such inherent levels of comfort as the Mercedes-Benz E-Class estate. It barely loses anything out to its saloon counterpart, save for a slight echo from the cargo area when driving over particularly rutted or cobbled surfaces. We would strongly recommend specifying the airbody control adaptive suspension option on lower spec trims of E200D and E220D estates. It is standard on the other models, for a sophisticated yet very comfortable ride quality. Being adaptive, you can adjust how firm you and your passengers prefer it, varying the degree of body roll, too. The cabin itself is as luxurious as it is spacious, all models featuring soft leather seats and a wide range of adjustment for the front too. Rear seat passengers don't get a raw deal either, with ample room for heads, legs and elbows, although inevitably the center passenger has less width for their posterior. From the end of 2016, Mercedes made a pair of occasional rear-facing child seats in the boot optionally available. These accommodate 2 kids up to 115 centimeters tall and fold seamlessly away into the boot floor when not required. Those who've experienced the previous generation of E-Class estate will find the new interior especially quiet, in large part courtesy of the new engine in the E200D and E220D, which is appreciably less gruff than the motor it ousted. Depending upon the model and options, your comfort will be boosted further by heated and ventilated seats, pneumatic lumbar adjustment, double glazing and, of course, the self-driving function to reduce stress levels. SE and AMG line trims for core age Mercedes-AMG E43 sportiest for now. Wide range of personalization options from its autumn 2016 debut. The E-Class estate lineup came in both SE and AMG line trims, with the high-performance Mercedes-AMG E43 topping the lineup. While trim levels remained the same, The high-performance Mercedes-AMG E63 and E63S were available to order from May 2017. Standard Mercedes-Benz E-Class estate equipment kicking the range off is SAE specification, which features alloy wheels, 17 inches for the E220D and 18s for the E350D, air body control suspension, E350D only dynamic select driving modes and electric tailgate LED lights, front and rear parking sensors and reversing camera, chrome roof rails, full leather interior, Garmin satnav, E220D, Orcaman multimedia system, E350D keyless starting, cruise control, 64 interior LED lighting, color options. Sales of the SAE and the AMG line that sits above it are expected to be fairly equal. AMG line adds 19-inch alloys, full AMG body, a darker interior theme, black open pore wood trim and a dark headlining fake leather dashboard trim. There's little different about the exterior of the Mercedes-AMG E43, although the diamond pattern grille is a classy embellishment. It's a similar story inside too, with red contrast stitching and similarly scarlet-colored seatbelts being the key changes, lending an 80s-style hot hatch vibe to the cabin. At the top end of the range sits the E63, getting AMG suspension along with 19-inch alloys, Napa leather upholstery and the twin 12.3-inch screens optional further down the range. Adding to this is the E63S, which gets 20-inch wheels, active engine mounts, special sports seats and a bespoke steering wheel. The E63S Edition 1 is a limited run launch model that gets extra body styling features. Mercedes-Benz E-Class estate, optional extras depending on the chosen trim level. A variety of additional features can be specified at extra cost, including the fully electronic instrumentation pack comprising of two 12.3-inch customizable displays. This is standard on all barring the E200D and E220D. Mercedes also bundles several key options packages together to increase the value, as well as customer take-up, of key extras. The premium pack upgrades the standard equipment rosters with keyless entry, automatic tailgate closing, a memory function for the driver's seat and a two-piece glass roof with opening front portion. Additionally, there's a Premium Plus pack adding a 13-speaker Burmester sound system and multi-beam LED headlamps consisting of 84 separate elements to the premium pack. Safety and comfort are both enhanced with the driving assistance pack featuring a raft of electronic monitoring systems including Drive Pilot, which combines adaptive cruise control with a lane-keeping function to allow a genuine step forward in semi-autonomous driving compared with Mercedes' previous systems, bringing it on par with Tesla. One option growing families should consider is the pair of occasional rear-facing child seats that stow away in the boot floor when not required. Inevitably there's a glut of individual options too long to list here in full, but including heated rear seats, upgraded climate control functions, an incredibly clear head-up display system and a soft closing feature to prevent the doors from being slammed. One of the safest cars on sale, self-driving function works reliably, overtake without touching the wheel. The Mercedes-Benz E-Class scores 5 stars in Euro NCAP crash testing. As well as all-round airbags, LED lights front and rear and a variety of different electronic stability equipment, you can upgrade your E-Class further with the comprehensive Driving Assistance Plus package, including Mercedes' innovative Drive Pilot system. It's not quite a fully autonomous system, but it's not too far off, as it accelerates and brakes depending upon the speed limit and steers itself along clearly marked roads, with engineers claiming it works almost as well on unmarked roads as typically found in the British countryside, something our testers agree with following testing on UK highways. The system further relieves the stress of motorway driving with an overtaking function. Hold the indicator for 2 seconds and when the car's checked its path is clear, it will steer itself into the overtaking lane, returning to the left when you indicate left. With cameras, sensors and monitoring equipment all over the car, you have a significant degree of crash prevention technology protecting you, but remember, from a legal perspective, you are still in control of the vehicle. 5 seats with option to extend to 7, huge boot, even compared to direct drive's large footprint, but shouldn't be difficult to park whether you have the rear seats up or folded flat. Practicality is at the heart of what the Mercedes-Benz E-Class estate is all about. There's easily enough room for 4 adults, with 5 fitting for shorter journeys, and since 2016 there's also the option of a 3rd row of seats for smaller children, making the E-Class estate an occasional 7-seater. Elsewhere the cabin's dotted with sensibly sized slots and lidded cubbies, including a large central bin under the armrest. Cars in this class are large vehicles with a big footprint, but parking is made easier thanks to the inclusion of acoustic sensors and a parking camera as standard on all models. Automatic parking is available as an optional extra. At 640 litres up to the window line, the estate's cargo bay is 100 litres larger than the E-Class saloons, but this can be increased by 30 litres simply by having the rear seat backrest 30 degrees more upright. Instantly, the Audi A6 Avon's 565-litre offering and the boots of the BMW 5 Series Touring and Volvo V90, both at 560, look small by comparison. Tumble the 40 hours 20 minutes 40 seconds split seat over. It folds virtually flat with the boot floor, and again the Mercedes leads the way with 1,820 litres, trouncing the Audi, BMW and Volvo with 1,680, 1,670 and 1,526 litres respectively. Cleverly, the luggage cover rises electrically up the rearmost bill is out of the way as the tailgate opens and the controls for folding over the seats are in the boot. Just be wary of specifying one of the paler interior colors, as some of the test cars we sampled had boot carpets lighter than you'd dare have in your house. At 640 litres up to the window line, the estate's cargo bay is 100 litres larger than the E-Class saloons, but this can be increased by 30 litres simply by having the rear seat backrest 30 degrees more upright. Instantly, the Audi A6 Avon's 565-litre offering and the boots of the BMW 5 Series Touring and Volvo V90, both at 560, look small by comparison. Tumble the 40 hours 20 minutes 40 seconds split seat over. It folds virtually flat with the boot floor, and again the Mercedes leads the way with 1,820 litres, trouncing the Audi, BMW and Volvo with 1,680, 1,670 and 1,526 litres respectively. Cleverly, the luggage cover rises electrically up the rearmost bill is out of the way as the tailgate opens and the controls for folding over the seats are in the boot. Just be wary of specifying one of the paler interior colors, as some of the test cars we sampled had boot carpets lighter than you'd dare have in your house.